Morse code is built in units. I've got a Morse unit of 2 frames where the light is on. I hope this works because I'm recording it and it's quite fun. It's on and off. We can see it updating there, and that's a dot, and that is W. Dot, dash. So I go to letters A, T, so that is water in Morse code. I like learning stuff, it's fun, isn't it?
My name's Emmett Bell and I work on all these things, and I'm here to teach you how to make films in Unreal Engine. Welcome to Realtime Workflows.
Right, Spacewalker day 50. Doing something a little off kilter today. So as I'm writing, I'm now at the 2/3 mark. So this is the big down moment. It's the all is lost moment. And I've got my hero, he's on the end of the broken Canadarm, but he sees a light, and the light starts to communicate with him in Morse code. So me being me, I like to get these things accurate. And so I started to look into what Morse code looks like. So, you know, you fall down a little rabbit hole with these things, or I do anyway. So here's Morse code. Morse code is built in units. This is what I've learned. I like learning stuff, it's fun, isn't it? Right, so Morse code is built in units. So the dots are a single unit and the dashes are 3 units, okay? So, and each space in between is a unit. So it has a rhythm, okay? And so A, for example, would be 1 unit, then a second for the unit in between, and then 1, 2, 3 units. And the space between letters is 3 units. And the space between words is 7 units. You can see this information here. The space between parts of the same letter is 1 unit as well. And anyone who knows a bit more about Morse code, feel free to correct me. But I think what we're looking at here is for A, it's 1 unit, a unit here for this, and then 1, 2, 3 units. So that is 5 units. So I made a spreadsheet that states as much, basically. So it's a number of parts, a number of spaces, and so basically I've got this total here of units for all the things, and I've got this rough calculation. I've put 5 frames here for what a unit is. I think actually starting at 2 frames would be more sensible, and because then I can scale it if I need it to take longer. But the idea is it should be uniformly scalable. So the way I thought to do this was to, for one, make a light on the space station because there isn't one, and then we'll just make this up. So this is a new asset that I've built out of this, and I did here with this is I just chucked it in Maya and then deleted all the bits I didn't want, and I did set a little pivot point on here and moved it around. So if we come and look at this now, this is the same thing, but I've just used the same geometry and the same materials. I've just, you know, reconfigured it a little bit. Could do some smoothing. It'll probably have another version. It's just a Viz model. It's fine. And then what I'm doing is I'm gonna go to my cinematics and sequences and sub-sequences, and I've got a thing for Morse code. And what I'm gonna do is I've got a Morse unit of 2 frames where the light is on. All right, so the intensity is set to 8. And what I could do with this thing as well is I could take, let's see, we need to make a version of this. It's got an emissive light. So let's just make a quick version that doesn't have an emissive. Oh, there we go, emissive boost. Does that work if I set it to 0? And can I command it in here? So let's go static mesh, material, light, and then add emissive light, emissive boost or emissive light. Let's see what happens there. So if I were to go emissive light, set these to 0. Yeah, turns it off. Okay, so I can undo those. So they're all on. So we've got our emissive light is on for 2 frames and the light is set to 8. All right, so I'll save that and then I'll make an off version. So duplicate this, Morse unit off, and then let's go to these things and open that back up and go, this will be off, 0, 0, 0, 0. And this will be, I should key that and set that to 0. And I'm actually gonna move all these keys to 0 as well, because that's just a bit confusing. Let's move them to 0. And then, so that's right, so that's off, save that. And then this is on, and I'm just gonna do the same thing and move these all to, we'll set a key up there, and move that to there. So now in theory, I could come in here and go, and move those. And then the next level up will be letters. And what I'm thinking is I bury these down. So that goes in there. And the next level will be words, new folder, words. This might be overly complicated. feels like it makes sense that I'm making a hierarchy. And then new folder for phrases. The words go inside the phrases. All right. So in theory now I drill down. So I'm going to do an update, redirect references just to check everything. So we've got Morse code, phrases, words, letters, and inside there we've got units. So in here now I've got letters. Let's go new level sequence, and we're just going to call it WATTER. So I'm just going to go through the letters that I'm using so far. I'm not going to necessarily create all of them. I could keep doing it. I don't need to build a full alphabet, but let's start with W's 9 units. U is dot dash dash. Oh, I need to make a dash dash. That's what I need to do. That's why I haven't done it. So it's not units. The next one down is new folder, units, dots and what are we calling them? Dots and dashes. They're dots. Let's call it dots and dashes. Dots and dashes. Units goes inside there. Morse unit on. There it goes. Yeah, Morse unit on. Okay, so that's that. And that's a dot. And let's add actually 2 more frames, and we'll go Morse unit off to complete the phrase. This is on and off. We can see it updating there. That looks good. Right, so then the next one is units, Morse unit off, dots and dashes. So dot, now I need the dash. I'm going to duplicate this and call it dash. Dot and dash. Right, so a dash is 3 units plus a 4th for the gap. So it's 8. So it should be 0 and 1, 2, 3, and then off. So now we go up to letters and go to W, and W is dot dash dash. Okay, and that is W dot dash. And I should probably then leave, if that's a letter, the space between the letters is 3 units. So it's 3 offs. So units, 1, 2, okay. That's W. Okay, so that takes a second. As things currently stand, that takes a second. So let's do another letter. So letters, W, saved. I hope this works because I'm recording it and it's quite fun. The next one now is going to be a lot more simple. So A is just dot dash. So it's just dot dash, and then we get rid of that, and then bring these in because there's a gap between, and then that's that. So dot dash. So A dot dash. And the next one is T, because we're spelling, the word we're spelling is water. T is just a dash, so duplicate that again. T, open it up. It's just a dash. Then move these down here and do that. And then it's, let's see, E. What's E most similar to? E is just a dot. So that's easy enough. Let's just duplicate whichever. Duplicate, call it E. Open this up. It's just a dot, followed by the spaces at the end. Really what I should have done is made a unit for these 3, but I haven't done that now. It doesn't really, it's fine. Oh, maybe I should do it. I think I feel better. So Morse unit off, Morse unit on, Morse unit, let's go. So it's not dash dot, it's going to be in the dash dot level, and it's going to be, let's just duplicate one and go, it's word, space word, and space letter. A space word is 7 units off. 1, 2, 4, 6, and then 1 more. So 7 units of off, save that, and then duplicate it to get space letter. And these are the things that space them out, I guess, right? So space letter is 3. Bring that back down there. And then I can save that and open up my letters and go A and just replace these with space letter. Just copy that. And then we're back to letters, and the last one here is duplicate for R, and R is dot dash dot. So get rid of that. Dot dash dot space letter. Boom. Dot that dot. Okay. Now I have all of my letters for the word water. So come up to words, go level sequence, word, water, open this up. So go to letters, and we're going to go add a subsequence track. W, A, T, E, R. And then a word space. I went far off there. Okay. We're in a night. I could do it being in a night pass when I do this. So that is water in Morse code with a nice, easy system to do it. And of course, if I want to make it longer, what I will do is I will hold Ctrl and drag and it scales it out. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, Morse code system in real time. The goal here really is to figure out how long this stuff takes in the script. And I need to know, like, have I underwritten this? Have I allowed it too much time? I need to just make sure, because everything's in real time, right? So I just need to make sure, and that's why having this open while I'm writing and I can check the timings of things just makes so much sense. So yeah, day 50, Morse code. Didn't know that when I started. That's what I'll be doing on day 50, but there we go.
4:30 a.m. I'm up to write some more Spacewalker. Not in the office, I'm downstairs in the kitchen. Everyone's asleep, so I'm being quiet. I just thought I'd share the sort of structure of Spacewalker and how I'm writing the script. So I tend to write first drafts in a program called Highland, which is available. It's only on Mac. I usually have one of these pages, which is kind of like the text that comes up at the start of the film, and I put it on its own page just to make sure it's given the correct space. So the way Highland works is this is the presentation view. This is sort of the print view. I can't edit this here. What we do is we go into this mode, and it's basically what I like about Highland is it's basically just a text editor. I'll show you in a second what I mean by that. So I can basically write for Highland in any program. I don't have to do it on my Mac. I don't have to use Highland. You can just type in text into any editor and you can just paste it in here and it becomes script. Add my structure to this. So by structure, I mean these hashtags, which gives you these things here. And I'm also, as we come down here, so I'm down to here. So I'm making target predictions as to what page I want to be on. So you'll see here, I'm on page 46 and this was the target. The target was to do this section on page 46. And if I come down to where I currently, so the target for the next sequence of these 8 sequences that make up the film is page 57, and we can see that I'm on page 56, so I am very close to basically starting the next of these chapters, which allows me to my writing pace where I am in the process. You can see here that they've all got target page counts, so this one would start on page 69 and the end sequence here ends on page 80. So it starts on page 80. And I've given them kind of abstract titles, really, but none of these are, I don't think it's not going to be like Frasier where the title comes up. It's just a way for me to kind of keep things structured in here. And the other cool thing about Highland is it allows you to make notes. So I've kind of got a bunch of this stuff. These are a bunch of notes from that I've adapted from actual spacewalks, as well as like timing notes and things like that, things that I just might want to copy in and out of the script, and just things that I want to have on hand, really. So yeah, that's it's a great program, and I use it for burst writing. And so what I mean is, so let's say I want to write a line for Tom, so I just type Tom in capital letters and I hit enter. Now because I typed a word in capital letters and I hit enter, it now knows that the next thing I write is going to be dialogue. So see how it formatted it. But if I were to just type normal text into a different text editor and paste that in here, but I typed it the same way, it would still work. Which is a really nice way to just kind of get a first draft out. And then what I would do after that is then I would bring it into Final Draft, which is kind of the industry standard screenwriting software. Because, you know, when you give it to anyone like a bidding producer or anyone like that, they're going to want to have the final draft version. A line producer or you know, lots of people might request a script in a editable format. They might request the final draft version, the FDX. But I do my first vomit draft in here in Highland, which is a great piece of software. So yeah, I better get to it. It is day 48, and I'm counting the days sequentially, even though I don't work every single day. I haven't worked every day of the 48 days on the film because I obviously have other work to do and a job, but I'm counting them sequentially, just because I kind of like to do that, I guess. So yeah, I better get with some writing.
Thank you for watching, fellow builders. Till next time, I'm MX Bell.